back. I know it's been a bit of a long time. We said we're going to do the regular updates when it comes to the World Cup, but it's been moving so far that, I'm not making excuses. That was poor on our part. We apologise, people. But nevertheless, we are back with a, well, I'm going to call it a wrap-up, because we've had the round 16 quarterfinals and semi-finals now since our last episode. We've only got the third place players in the final to play. But we were going to record yesterday before. It would make more sense to wait until the semis are done so we actually know who's in the final. For those of you who've been living under a rock and need no sport and want to avoid spoilers, why would you? Spain are playing Argentina in the final. I think so. My secondary prediction for who's going to win the World Cup is still on. Ben, sorry, yours is done after Spain dominated France the other night. But yeah, it's going to be a Spain-Argentina final. I hope, for all intents and purposes, for the purpose of football itself as a concept, that Argentina will win. Because I don't know about you, Ben, or anyone else watching, but Spain are very boring, exceedingly boring to watch. They are.
Yeah. Well, it's good to sort of get back to this. These episodes. I know you and I have both been crooked the last sort of week or so. So obviously, probably the main reason why we didn't record last week. But no, it's been great. I haven't seen a whole lot of action in terms of the games, but what a sort of way to get to the end of the semi-final stage. And we've got two pretty good teams. I mean, no disrespect to England, but that finish this morning,
there's a lot of
Argentina.
Being a little too negative. I mean, look, I'm annoyed, obviously, because you're obviously going to be annoyed when your team doesn't win a game, but let alone the semi-final. But I see it more as a bigger picture thing. For the most part, our team is still relatively young. We're still somewhat very much in the beginning, let's say, of this next generation of England players, which we have some very good ones who've been left at home. And overall, I think Tuchel did go a bit negative after we went in front. I thought, I get the defensive thing, and I'm not completely against it, because we were 5 minutes away, or so, well, plus the 9 that they added on, but so 10 or so minutes away, essentially, or 15 minutes away from getting over the line to the final. And it was a hit from distance, really, from Enzo Fernandez. They got the equaliser.
Quality finish has to be said.
Until that moment,
yeah.
Pretty good job, but keeping them largely quiet. They haven't had two obvious opportunities, although they were looking dangerous. My only issue is how we reacted to the equaliser to still be defensive. That was where my issue lies, and that's why Argentina ended up getting the job done in more than time. We should have been more on the front foot after going behind. You don't just have to sit back and take any man behind the ball to hold for the draw. You can do it trying to push forward as well, because that can make the opposition play deep to themselves. So you can't always be afraid of getting hit on the break in these big games. So I think people didn't mess it up there, but throughout the whole tournament, people complaining, saying they want him out. Would Southgate have done any fucking better? Let's be real. Know your place. We haven't won a tournament.
Yeah, that's annoying because
international honor since 1966 immensely. I don't think the opposition should start saying we should sack our manager when we've lost the holders of the World Cup in the semi-final in the last minute of stoppage. I don't think we're in a position to start saying stuff like that, because who else is out there?
No.
Okay, guess. Look, if Tuchel goes and we can get Pep, then fair enough, I understand that. But if it's not going to be Pep, I don't think there's anyone else there to do it. Marching throughout this tournament, I saw enough from him to know that tactically he's far more switched on than Southgate. He just messed it up in a big game in the semi-final, right?
And not the only coach in this tournament to make tactical errors at a crucial moment. I mean, obviously semi-finals are a bit different to I think I know who you're talking about. That's the one, yeah. But I was going to say, I mean, surely England's not going to go the way of the Saints and sack the coach every couple of years. It's but I think you're right in terms of, at least from the news stuff that I've seen today, like a lot of the fans were sort of a bit over the top. But I mean, really, how long's Tuchel been in the job for? What, a couple of years, maybe? Oh, there you go. So it's gonna take time. It's his first major tournament with the group, and I think.
And look, I want to point out as well, we still got
credit to him.
That itself, I know people want to
Yeah.
But third place itself would mean
Yeah.
a first podium finish in the World Cup that we've had since 1966.
Yeah.
Because aside from the win in
Mhm.
66, we've had two fourth place finishes in the Italia 90 and then in the 2018 World Cup. We've never finished third.
Mhm.
So, let alone second
Yeah.
or first. Like, so I still think there's every bit to
Yeah.
try and play for and go and beat France and try and restore some pride. Even though losing to France wouldn't
Absolutely.
be pride at all. I can't imagine France
No.
going to go full strength into it. I don't imagine Mbappe and Bele at least they're really going to play too much of a big role in the game. Obviously, likewise for us, probably like Bellingham, Kane and that one probably won't feature, which is understandable. But, our B team, a certain Colin Maynard, who's been sitting on the bench having nothing but a holiday for this whole tournament, maybe he might get a go and hopefully does
Yeah.
because he's down. Because, it's
Yeah.
about time the world saw how good this fucking kid is.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think Harry Kane, from your point of view, I think he's done more than enough in this tournament, and I guess if they do rest him, he can freshen up for club duties, which isn't that far away as well, right? So, you've got a foot in both camps. So, yeah.
That's the other thing. I'm not being hung up on anything too long. We've got the France game Saturday morning, of course, in the third place playoff, but then Sunday morning United playing Wrexham. So it's not really too much time to hang over. We're right back into pre-season. I mean, it's not a United podcast, obviously we're only talking about the World Cup. United have been chilling it in the transfer window so far. I'm positive about that. But yeah, back to the actual World Cup, and we'll talk about the other semi-final. France. Look, Spain are good. I did not expect them to turn up and put it on France like that. They dominated them from start to finish. They barely had a sniff against them. With fair credit, they go into the final in strong form. But I think and hope, for the sake of football, that Argentina will still get that over the line. But yeah, look, fair credit to Spain. I think they've just slowly grown into this tournament. They've just kind of crept their way through this tournament. Never been too amazing, but never been that disappointing. And now they find themselves with a chance to win it. All of a sudden, right? It just can creep up on you. This stuff in tournament football really can.
Yeah, well, I still go back and, I remember us discussing that first game of theirs and drawing to Cabo Verde, and look what happened with them. We sort of fobbed it off a little bit as, it's, yeah.
Maybe Cabo Verde should win the World Cup,
absolutely.
maybe.
Why not?
So look, so that's how it's going to end. And everything that's come before, we've had some big moments. We'll go over some of those from the stuff in the round of 16 onwards. Firstly, we'll talk about the thing probably everyone wants us to talk about, and that's the joy that everyone seemed to have when US got dumped out 4-1 by Belgium in the round of 16.
Oh, we need to talk about that. Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that it's on the team. It's got nothing to do with the team or Poch. I think he's done a really good job as their manager, or a decent enough job as their manager. And I have no issue with the team. Obviously, the main talking point is old Donald Trump and the nonsense he was spouting prior to that game when Balogun was sent off in the round before, and trying to personally get the card overturned because, like most Americans, doesn't seem to understand the concept of a suspension in sport. You get a red card in a game. It's a little ridiculous to just think that they should just play your best players. What was it? I don't understand why the best players would miss game. Like, the best players should always be available for every game, regardless of what they play. If it doesn't matter if they're your best player or not, but it's ridiculous, that notion, to think that you can get sent off in a game and just be fine to play the very next one. It's
well, there's a bit. I was just going to say there's a bit of that, in AFL sort of folklore. The best players tend to, get protected, and that's actually one of the first things I thought of with this. There was a Carlton guy, Patrick Cripps, a couple of years ago, who won the Brownlow medal, but he only won it because he got suspended and he had got a lawyer, and it's our folklore that Cripps's lawyer will get you off whatever the charge is, sort of thing, and I can't exactly remember. I'll probably find it at some point. But that's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. Is you know. But it was just ridiculous, and you know, the fact that Trump obviously assumed that, you know, I'll just make a phone call to the boss and you know, it'll be done. And yeah, that's Infantino, very childish, you know, goings on with that whole scenario. But look, it was sweeter than the Belgian chocolate, seeing the US get knocked out a couple of days after. Really, it was just you know, poetic justice at work, really. And the Belgians on socials didn't waste much time, you know, letting the world know what had happened and overturn this. And they were doing the Trump dance and stuff, and I thought it was hilarious. So, you know, I think after the USA beat us, I was, you know, quite sick of seeing them. So it was you know, good to see them out in a blaze of controversy, shall we say.
Obviously, another talking point is another failure for Brazil. I mean, when are people going to realise they're no longer, they're far from the team they were in the early 2000s? Like, the World Cups they've had since, quarter-final elimination in 2006, yes, by the runners-up France, but still losing to Netherlands in the quarterfinals at 2010 World Cup. Of course, Netherlands were runners-up again, fair enough, both eliminated by the runners-up. And then obviously in the 2018 World Cup, even though they made the semi-final, the infamous night against Germany, where they fell 7-1 and looked absolutely shambolic. What a game of football that was. And then, 2018, much the same. I can't remember off the top of my head who eliminated them again, but I'm pretty sure, again, it was in the quarterfinals. And then 2022, again, quarterfinals, much the same. And then this time, round of 16, one of the earliest eliminations they've had in World Cup history. So, yeah, they're clearly not the team that they were. And, European opposition is just destroying them because they've been knocked out. Since they won the World Cup in 2002, they've been eliminated by European teams, like European countries, in every single edition of the World Cup since. So, they're not the team. They clearly aren't the team they are anymore. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Norway game. I saw only the highlights of it, but even from that, it's enough to get
I didn't see much of it.
Brazil sitting back and putting 7-8 men behind the ball and playing on the counter-attack is nothing at all like what we know from Brazilian football. It's so far away from what we know Brazil to be. It's remarkable. Like, I mean, maybe the next World Cup people will finally stop saying that they're going to be potential favourites for the tournament.
Well, that's what I was saying at the start of the tournament. If you remember, I mean, early on in the tournament, I honestly didn't think they were much chop, and I guess it probably took this game.
Their record in qualifying alone coming into it was very average at best. I mean, was it they finished 5th, I think, in the end of their qualifying group in South America, or 6th even? Like, they scraped in. Like, and for me, the other thing is, like, fine. The Vinny Jr. thing, once again, showing its head. Like, 3 man of the matches in the group stage, fantastic. Had an opportunity to take a penalty to put his side up in a round of 16 tie, bottled it and passed it to Bruno G, who's not known for penalty taking. And I know there is all this stuff coming out after saying, pre-tournament they planned the penalties would be here. Well, I don't care. It's a semi-final of a World Cup and you represent your nation and you're meant to be the poster boy right now for the nation, aside from Neymar. Although, let's be honest, Neymar's yesterday's man at this point, really, isn't he? So why Vinny Jr. is just part. This is what I'm saying. He does this all the time. He can be world class in games that matter little, but when the moment's there and the heat is on, he buckles every single time. Not taking a pet, like, what I don't understand why on earth. As I said, if the reason was, he was going to take. You're Vinny Jr., you should be like, I don't care, give me the ball. If I want to be the world-class player I claim to be, then I should be taking this. Like, could you imagine, right? Obviously, Ronaldo would always be Portugal's taker, but let's just say there was a scenario where pre-tournament Portugal decided someone else was going to take the penalties, right? And they were in a round of 16 tie, and they win a penalty at 0-0. Cristiano Ronaldo is not picking the ball up and handing it to the designated penalty taker if it wasn't hit. He's picking the ball up and just putting it down on the spot and taking it himself. Lionel Messi, the same. Harry Kane, the same. The list goes on. Like, actual world-class players will take that penalty regardless of what they decided pre-tournament. And for me, it's another showing from Vinny Jr., who was poor in the game. Just reminded me of the quarter-final of the Champions League against us. when he was shocking, just spending more time trying to throw himself to the floor in front of the ref to con him for free kicks than actually playing football. And, again, just in a game that matters a lot, barely showing up to the fight. So, yeah, he's not world-class, and people need to stop thinking that. Because, you can't tell me he's world-class because he plays good in games that don't really matter all that much. He's only world-class if he's doing it in all games, not just select games. Right?
Yeah.
Then you could call Marcus Rashford world class because sometimes he looks brilliant, but then other times he's not that great. Like, if that's now the definition for world class, there's so many more players we can put on that table now. It's ridiculous. But for me, I had to say that. Poor from Brazil, but Vinny Jr. again, absolutely just shitting the bed for his country again because cowardly. Any other points of yours from the tournament thus far? Specifically from the round of 16.
I think certainly. I guess the prize packets for me, that and I did talk about it a couple of weeks ago, was obviously Mexico being defeated by your mob. I think we sat here a couple of weeks ago, and I was pretty reasonably adamant that Mexico were going to get the job done, and they didn't. And that's a credit to England. I mean, it obviously shows that. That's right. I didn't see the game, but I mean, it's a really good game when my mum texts me in the afternoon while I'm in the kitchen at lunch watching bits of it, and even she knows it's a quality contest. So, but look, that obviously the USA stuff. I won't talk much about the Egyptian game because after they beat us, I couldn't give a fuck about how they went. I mean, obviously, Norway for me is probably my pick of the lot in terms of the round of 16 onwards. I mean, what a tournament they had, and the fans bringing.
I just felt, I don't know. Once again, he has a habit of doing this. I mean, look, I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's obviously world class, is Haaland, but I've seen him do it a few times in derbies in the Premier League against United and sometimes against other teams. Likewise, he did in the quarter-final against England. The only difference that separates for me Haaland and Kane, in terms of Kane being better, is Kane, and I know I'm making this point after Kane had a fairly quiet game in the semi-final, but that's not down to him so much as the way the team was set up. Because if you watch that game, he was trying to drop deep and get involved as much as he could, and there was still some moments where he was trying to create chances and trying to play from deep. But for me, with Haaland, if you're able to mark him out of the game, he really becomes ineffective because he's not great at dropping deep, getting on the ball. He's not got the greatest passing range. Haaland is at his best when he's able to just get away from defenders. Crosses are able to fly into him. Balls are able to be put into his feet. He's able to run at defenders, have chances to score. Like we saw against Brazil, he was excellent in that game. But against England, again, it's just if you can mark him out the game, then he's almost ineffective. Becomes a ghost almost on the pitch because that against us, I've seen it. I've seen it many times before in Manchester derbies where United have just marked him out of the game and he's been virtually ineffective for the entire time he's on the pitch. I mean, was it the derby in Michael Carrick's first game earlier this year where we beat him 2-0 at Old Trafford? He came off after 60 odd minutes having touched the ball 4 times all game. So that's what can happen when he just gets marked out of the game, and it's similar against England. He really was almost non-existent for that game.
I was going to say, is that why they took him off? Because he was obviously being marked out of the
he didn't come
out
off
of the game because I didn't see it, but I'd heard
until literally the second half of extra time. Yeah.
Ah, right.
I mean,
okay.
Look, the heat was a thing as well.
Because I heard that he'd been subbed off.
It was a huge. Imagine having one of the games with the hottest conditions in terms of weather all tournament, and it's England versus Norway. Of course, it was going to be a very lethargic game of football towards the back end, in it. And that extra time was but I mean, what a tournament for him, and I have to say, he's had a fantastic tournament.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I told you about this the other day, the Haaland song that's been doing the rounds, and the Yorkshire boy Norwegian lad Roy Keane tried to kill his dad. If that's not one of the best lines in music ever, I'll go he. But I mean, credit to the whole Norwegian side, really. I mean, obviously their first crack at a World Cup in a while, and I think they made the most of it, and obviously just got outplayed by equally quality opposition in you guys, and they can hold their heads up high. I mean, Portugal, that's the last we'll see of Ronaldo. Oh, definitely Paul. That's the last we'll see of Ronaldo. He can go back to his his motor oil lads and all the Saudi League exactly. I think Ange is managing his side now.
Manager, I bet you Ronaldo's chomping at the bit to get back to pre-season to be managed by Ange.
Oh yeah. I wonder if he rang Craig Foster and asked,
Pushkas around in a beaten up automobile.
That's right. I wonder if he's called Craig Foster to get his take on what he thinks of Ange as a coach. I mean, if I'm referring to the stash on the World Game Live on SBS on a Sunday morning. Yeah.
In the sport of football, he's been managed by Pushkas. He's managed a team against United in a Club World Cup. He's managed in the Premier League, obviously, and now he's going to manage Ronaldo. I mean, he's really cracked it, hasn't he? Yeah. He also
full circle,
He also has the record for the shortest reign of any manager in Premier League history as well, so he's got that to his CV.
And he played at Middle Park Stadium, which no longer exists now. It's the pit straight of the F1 track now, for those who know.
That's the one he looks back on.
That's
right?
I mean,
stadium, it just doesn't come close to managing in the Premier League.
Hallis fans will hate me for this, but the place was a dump. It was a shithole. It had soul, but it was a shithole. But then again, so was Moorabbin back in the day. But I think in terms of overall, I think obviously we've had some great contests between the round of 16 and now. But I think it's probably. It's a lottery between you guys and obviously France or Spain for the final. But I certainly think, Argentina probably has had to do it a little bit tougher. Spain maybe, set aside from that first game, they've sort of had a bit of a cruisier run. But, I'm pretty pleased with the way the tournament's gone to this point. I have enjoyed the fact that the games are actually on at a decent fucking time, which is good. It's had quite a bit of action, which is
no.
So, go to Fed Square at 2 a.m. Yeah. But I guess any other talking points?
Really that covers most of it, innit? Obviously we've still got those last two games to play, the third place playoff between us and France, and then obviously the Spain Argentina final this Sunday, which unfortunately we won't be able to live stream people due to the fact that I will be in somewhere up the road from Melinda. So in a hotel or so I don't think we'll be able to live stream that one, unfortunately, lest I want to wake up all the guests. Which I won't, so there we go. Sorry, apologies, people. But look, but with the World Cup ending, obviously the Bundesliga only starts basically around a month or so from now, roughly. So obviously we're going to have more content of that coming up around the future. Perhaps in the future. Ben's AFL stuff is still going strong. Possibly we might try another live stream between now and the end of the season. On any one of the games that Ben will so willingly choose to not attend for the sake of a live stream.
I'm sure there'll be one.
I know it won't be Carlton, that's for sure. That's one you'll.
Oh, that's on a Sunday. You can bet your bottom dollar I'll be there after the glorious triumph of last time. So, and just in terms of the Bundesliga, 8th of August. Paul's Bundesliga 2 kicks off, so we are going to cover some of it. I know you and I have talked about some of the teams that are going to be in the top flight next season, Schalke being one of them, and Steve, my good Schalke mate, we're going to try and get him on the
for 2 episodes,
try and get him on the pod for an episode, two episodes,
yeah. Just to deep dive what on earth has happened at Schalke over the last decade or so. Absolutely.
I'll pencil him in for that. So that looking forward to that. He's a great bloke. I've known him for.
We'll just do the preview ourselves, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but definitely, I've known him 25 years. Saints mad like I am. So great bloke. But it's sort of coming full circle. I mean, we sort of farewell this tournament in a few days, and in a few weeks' time, 4 weeks' time or so, the domestic leagues kick off again. It's crazy.
Circle. It's non-stop with football and all other sports. England have a test series against Pakistan coming up in around a month or so, and the big news on that is we're on the hunt for a new test coach after Brendan McCullum was sacked. I mean, we're only 25 minutes in, we might as well delve into some cricket whilst we're at it. So yeah, obviously for those of you who don't know, Brendan McCullum has been sacked. I think it was about a week ago or so even that announcement was made, literally days after Ben Stokes' decision to retire. After, in most Ben Stokes fashion possible, he basically, in his last game of cricket for England, decided to lose the game for us. We're in a bit of a state right now, it has to be said. After losing the Ashes the way we did, and then losing at home to New Zealand for the first time in however long it's been again, I think since 1999, and our first three-match home series defeat since 2012, I believe. There's big change needed for England, and the coach is another thing. Now that Brendan McCullum has been sacked as our test coach, some names going around. Obviously, Freddie Flintoff's always been in the circle. I don't think it's time for him yet. We need someone hard-nosed. I think the two names being most talked about are Jonathan Trott, and good old JL, Justin Langer. And I would love JL to take that job. I thought he got absolutely wrecked by Cricket Australia and the way they handled his dismissal a few years ago, and the shit he got because of it was uncalled for. Like, the amount of work that he did to fix the team after Smith and Warner got their bans, and Bancroft, but he was less important. After Smith and Warner got their... Sorry, Cam, if you're watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You are a good cricket player, obviously, but just in the terms of like... Anyway. But yeah, after Smith and Warner got their bans, the rebuild job that he had to do and the shit he had to deal with, and the results he had to get through, and the bad cricket they were playing and all of that, and then you got them back on track. And then, in typical Cricket Australia fashion, when they're done with one, they'll find any old reason to get rid of them and move on to the next. So I thought he got absolutely treated like shit.
Yeah.
He's been coaching in England for the last few years and doing a pretty steady job. I think it's exactly what England's setup needs right now, because it's just got too loose under the McCullum. It got way too loose and carefree under the McCullum regime towards the end. It was not enough rules in place, too much easy going. What started as just fearless cricket that will be rewarded slowly morphed into carefree rather than fearless, and rather than being rewarded, just genuinely not being punished is what it became, which is vastly different to fearless cricket. Carefree and fearless are two completely different things, and that's why we're in the position we're in, because our players have just kind of lost the discipline now, and that's why I'd love JL, someone to come in, and everyone knows he's a no-nonsense coach, really. He's honest, he says it like it is, and he takes no shit, and I think he'll be exactly what England need. Nothing against Jonathan Trott, I think he'll do a good job as well, but I just think in terms of the discipline side of things, I think JL was the one to kind of turn to. Just also because the last time Trott was in the England setup, it didn't end well for him. He had all those mental health issues. Obviously, he's different now. He's older, and he's got coaching experience. I just think rebuilding the England side in the state it's currently in is going to take quite a lot, and JL's the man, in my opinion, who can take on that task. I mean, what's your thoughts on it, being an Australian who probably has fond memories of watching him smash the ball all over the park, particularly against England in the early 2000s and late 90s?
I do, but I remember him best for his performance in the test, the Amazon documentary. Just pure passion and just F-bomb after F-bomb, just really galvanising the country. But look, I think he'd do well in that job. But the segue I'm going to make here before I move on to tonight's festivities is the A-League fixtures that just come out yesterday. And good news if you're a City fan, there's no half a dozen condensed games into 2 weeks. There's actually, well, that's right. But we play. I think I mentioned we play you guys on Halloween. In our first home game, but there's a double header, speaking of cricket, on the 27th, which is the second day of the New Zealand test at the G. City play Auckland FC at 6 o'clock at Amy Park. Yeah, I am actually. yeah, because it's day 2 and yeah, it's New Zealand, so yeah, I think I probably will end up doing the double, but a long time ago, I think, but that'll be a really good series in itself, and obviously we'll go. The other big news is the Big Bash fixtures are out too, and there's a bit of news for the old Melbourne Renegades, who a lot of people thought had merged, and clearly don't read the news because that was never happened. That never happened. Anyway, yeah, they've moved from the place where Saints are playing tonight, the old Pork Barrel Park with no wings, to the MCG and Junction Oval for a couple of games. No, they played 2 games at Geelong.
Yeah, I know, but that's not your home ground.
Well, technically it is, but anyway, it's a ground with a terrible drop-in wicket. Let's put it that way. So yeah, look, for someone like me who's an MCC member, I couldn't be happier because it means I don't actually have to buy a membership this year.
Something tells me you're going to go to a lot more Big Bash games this year.
Yeah, and one of them's on Christmas Eve, I think, at the Junction under lights. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go to that one. Yeah, so get an Uber down to my folks, straight after the game. So, but that's going to be. I'm actually really keen to sort of see the sort of setup down there, especially for I think Stars are playing one of their games there as well.
Who
but
are you playing?
Look, I think if it's going to be down there, Hurricanes
could be a good game.
Mitch Owen. Well, yeah, they usually have like a Christmas Eve game down in Hobart, yeah. And yeah, Mitch Owen's suiting up tonight for good old Saints. But as I read here, Saints last win in Geelong round 10, 1999, so which I'll move on to in just a second. But no, it's good. I mean, if it's going to be the last traditional season of Renegades and Stars, why not just just take the piss and try and meet each other in the final, right? So Renegades coming up victorious again. Yep. For sure. But I think it's we'll obviously do a preview later in the year. But the last thing I'll mention obviously tonight is the elephant in the room, and we've talked about this on this podcast for a while. It's finally here, ladies and gents. Saints going down to Geelong tonight for what feels like the 50th time that we haven't won.
Call it again, I'm not just under half an hour.
Yeah. 7:30. So once we've wrapped up here, I'll get my provisions and apologies to my neighbours in advance. And
for those of you who are still watching,
he said he didn't want to wait to get.
He was really deciding between tossing and deciding between whether he was going to go or not. I always put the point to you, didn't I, over the last couple of months that look, if you don't, excuse me, if you don't go,
don't go and we win.
I missed it. But then if you go and you lose, it'll just be as it was. Yeah, as you were. Yeah, well, it's going to be it's our best chance in a while to actually beat them. We had a good win on the weekend, and I mean we're up by 6 goals and only won by 14 points. So take that. Yeah, exactly. It's been the typical way to win now. Apparently, some people have said we're like the best first quarter team in the comp. Which means fuck all when it's 4 quarters in a game, right? That's like a couple of seasons ago when the Bash Boost Point thing was a thing, and Brisbane Heat were excellent at winning the Bash Boost Point, shocking at winning the game.
Yeah. Oh, the other news I heard is speaking of Renegades, Adam Zampa may be moving to Queensland, so Brisbane Heat might be on his radar. He can play grade cricket or whatever. So, but that's the other thing. The draft is no longer. The Big Bash draft is gone apparently, which is good because it's
to the tournament.
Spot on. It makes no sense. So, it'd be interesting to see sort of who gets signed where and whatnot. So, but it's going to be good. I mean, once the domestic league kick off, we're going to have a bit more to talk about on this humble podcast, I reckon.
How on earth are Scorchers going to cope not skipping 2 or 3 of their draft picks like they usually do? I mean, what's the point of having a draft if you're going to sit there and you have 3 choices and basically on the first 2 you're like, nah, we'll pass. Like, what's the point of a draft? But then you're just signing one player at that point. Like, that's just a regular window.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. the other thing I forgot to mention back on the speaking of the Renegades, another new coach, Luke Ronke.
Sackham's gone.
Former Kiwi. No, he wasn't their coach.
He was.
Oh no, that's right. He's gone elsewhere.
After we won the thing.
No, he was an assistant coach. He wasn't the head coach there.
We won it with Sackham a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and then he went to Cricket Victoria.
Oh, was it David Saker?
No,
yeah.
I think he was. I think he was the women's coach or assistant coach or something. Yeah. No, that was Helmut. Yeah, David Saker, Michael Klinger before him, and then Cam White, and Cam White's gone to the Stars. So, Luke Ronke, all the best, buddy, because the three guys before. I was going to say, you're going to need it. The three blokes before you did SFA. So, good luck.
And the other thing is, will Nathan Lyon get a game? Ooh, who knows?
No, I personally may as well bring back Mohamed Nabi
if
we're going to.
If Zampa's actually off, then you don't have Zampa anymore. Maybe he will get a game.
That's a very good point. I completely forgot he still played for us though, so got to sort of stick with that, I guess. But I think it's it's going to be another good season, hopefully. And
another good season? I mean, in general,
finals.
Like the Renegades, because they've not had a good season in years.
I know. In general, with Renegades absolutely taking the piss and holding the mace under one arm and the trophy in the other, that'd be the absolute piss take, I reckon, for get the investors phones running off the hook. So I mean, it's crazy, this whole thing with the way that they're going to divvy the teams up. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm not going to go to the MCG and follow a Melbourne team with that look like victory in cricket form. I'd rather see what that.
Hang on,
that's what I said. Blue.
Because you used to watch one-day cricket, and correct me if I'm wrong, but did the Bush Rangers not used to wear a purple shirt with a white V on?
Yeah.
You can't get more like fucking victory if you try it.
No. Blue.
Yeah,
like navy blue. Yeah, and that was Victoria, not homogenised. Insert name here, CC. Just for the $900 or whatever it is I pay for the MCC every year, I can find better things to do with my time than go and watch that. I'd rather wait for the new franchise, assuming it's going to be Melbourne something.
Yeah.
No, not them. The other one. Assuming it's still going to be Melbourne. Melbourne Machetes or whatever, something like that.
The North Richmond.
I'd rather go. The North Richmond Injectors. I had to go through there last week. It was an absolute, the worst designed terminal tram stop I think I've ever seen, and not the fact that I tried to get on the wrong side of the door. Not realise that the entry to the door was on the other side of the tram. But anyway, and I was late for I had an appointment I was late for because of the fucking Church Street bloody traffic.
I was going to say, have you heard about the new local cricket team down in Seaford, the Seaford Goonbags?
No, I haven't actually. Although they do have a nice ground down there. I mean, I don't know if they use the old Saints ground, because I told you about the training ground that Saints have down there. I don't know if they play cricket down there, but
it's so far from St Kilda.
Yeah. No, it's before they moved back to Moorabbin. That's where they were training. The best part about it is it's literally backs onto the freeway. So you've got freeway views while you're training in a place that's in an industrial area of Seaford. So it makes Moorabbin look like the Taj Mahal now by comparison, I reckon. So.
That's saying something.
It certainly is.
Well, we've probably just about exhausted every avenue of conversation for this particular week's episode, haven't we, I'd say? We're clearly rambling now, for those of you who've made it this far. When we start banging on about shit suburbs in Melbourne, we've kind of just, lost, ran out of things to talk about.
Yeah, gone rogue, exactly, yeah.
So we'll park it right there before we just start mentioning more suburbs like Dandenong and all that nonsense.
Cobblebank.
Reel them off. So yeah, we'll leave it there for another episode as we pass the 40-minute mark. Good enough, we finished the football talk about 20 minutes ago. How the time flies. Hope you guys have enjoyed another episode. We'll have one more wrap up of the whole tournament itself next week sometime, whenever, which will be probably like a small little wrap up because we've already gone through most of the tournament. Now we'll be more talking about the last two games, and more specifically probably mostly the final, and then some other random shit that we just spout out maybe. So yeah. Yeah.
Bit of padding.
So yeah, we hope you guys have enjoyed another episode of the ABCFC podcast. We'll leave it there. Obviously, yeah, Bundesliga is back in around a month's time, so it's just non-stop, innit? But yeah, we'll leave it there, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.